Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Red. It is Sunday, the 18th of May. I tell you what, I hope it's exactly the same for you wherever you are in the world as it is for me, because the sun is shining, it is glorious here, and really, everything football wise, there's so much to be happy about in the morning, isn't there? And in the afternoon or evening, whenever you're listening to this. So I'm your normal host, Dave Davis, coming to you from just glorious Edinburgh. We had barbecue yesterday. We'll have a barbecue today. We will all just soak up as much sun as we can, as long as it lasts. And I hope you're in a jovial mood as I am today, people, as we get into all the Liverpool headlines, all the things that are going on as ever. So you know how the Daily Red works. Let's get into it straight away. 1,000,001 different stories. Definitely a transfer flavour, isn't there? A creative flavour. There's right backs in the mix, which is where we'll start. And maybe, just maybe, with the right back mix, let me do it a certain way, people. Let's get the negative bit out the way first and finish it with a positive, because it's a tale of three right backs, isn't it? I mean, one is departed, as we know this summer, has made that quite clear, and probably seen the videos, maybe the shots, if you want to put it that way, that there was a leaving party held at the AXA for Trent Alexander-Arnold yesterday. And welcome if you're watching on YouTube or social media. You'll be able to see some of the photos that we're putting on the screen. It looks quite the party, doesn't it, as it were. So the players are happy, and you've probably seen them in Dubai. They had a great crack, didn't they? They had a great time on a slot, as we know at the press. It's been a party time for the players. But there's something I think needs calling out on this. I actually spoke to someone who was there, who did say, yeah, the theme was the summer of 66, and there was parties, there's free food, there was all sorts going on. The summer of 66. It sounds like a brand, really, doesn't it? Let's be honest. And there's a few tweets on this which I think are important at the same time. Shout out to Henry there, Henry Jackson, who's tweeted summer of 66. And some people think Trent isn't all about becoming a brand. Of course he is. Of course he absolutely is on this. There's no doubts about it at all. And as shout out to Barry, Brand Barrel, who's tweeted, he took the comparisons between his and Beckham's crossing to the point of thinking he could be Beckham. Never thought I'd be at the point where I desperately can't wait for him not to be a Liverpool player anymore. Going to be very annoyed if he's in the squad tomorrow. It's, to be honest, I'd rather he wasn't. And everyone's entitled to their opinion, and Mo Salah's come out. We've talked about this to the nth degree. I won't talk about it too much more. But the fact you're actually seeing, as it says, the summer of 66, I think it's clear Trent sees himself as a brand, as something almost more, and wants to develop that by going to Real Madrid, almost following that path that's set by Beckham and others a little bit as well. So it also just leaves that taste in the mouth for me personally of he knows what he's been doing. It's always been the plan, but here we are. And let's go positive, because this was news a little bit out the blue, and it was absolutely brilliant yesterday, wasn't it? Absolutely great news. Conor Bradley has signed an extension for another 4 years. And people go, 4 years, right back's been here before. There's nothing negative about this at all. Liverpool is Conor Bradley's club. He is a Liverpool supporter. What we're hoping for now, more than anything, is please let Conor Bradley stay fit. Our right back to stay fit. James there saying, yeah, Bradley, my right back. The one we want to talk about. Of course it is. Brilliant news. Another 4 years, so that's that contract ticked off. There's still a few to sort, but let's be positive while we're in this flow. And it's interesting, the reporting, if you look at it from the likes of Paul Joyce and others in this story. Clear club briefing here is that the expectation that he is the first choice right back. Interesting. mainly part that he's only right back at the club, who I'm considering anyway at the moment. But let's be positive about this. This is good news yesterday. And the good news didn't stop there. Now, it's not official. We've not heard it from the club, but we've heard it from all the relevant journalists. It's as reliable as it gets. We got the David Ornstein bomber yesterday, didn't we? Jeremy Frimpong poised to undergo medical ahead of completing the move from Bayer Leverkusen. The 24-year-old is agreed a 5-year deal, and we will pay that release clause. Massive news. Great news, isn't it? Let's not be sad about that at all. So very shortly, there'll be 2 right-backs at Liverpool. 2 right-backs that want to be at Liverpool, importantly. And shout out to Louis Steele, who had yesterday off, but as he tweeted, Frimpong is jetting into England today and will undergo his Liverpool medical tomorrow ahead of hopefully signing a 5-year deal. So jetting in today, medical tomorrow. Plane spotting is back, people. We are back on that mix. We are back tracking planes. We're not at Babblecopter stage because the window's not open properly yet, but we are at the stage, aren't we, of tracking the planes. And with that in mind, a few people have tweeted this one, haven't they? That there was a flight that left Cologne, headed for Manchester at 9 o'clock Cologne time. Cologne is 1 hour ahead of England as well. So it could even be a possibility, ladies and gents. He's on his way. But also, Jeremy Frimpong may be in the UK as we speak. But could only work off the facts that we've got there rather than the speculation. Jeremy Frimpong is flying into England today. He may already be here and will have his medical tomorrow. So let's think about the right-back situation positively. And let's talk about the players who want to be on or at this club. And when you overlay them, I mean, his minutes-wise for Conor Bradley, very different to Frimpong. It is less than 1,000 minutes across the 2 biggest competitions. But I like the options we have now. I'm not going to pretend that our Xavi lineup said I was absolutely enamoured with Frimpong, but as the information sort of seeped out and we ran him on transfer market metrics, we've had time to absorb it all with Frimpong. You are thinking, I did like this Sam Maguire, Frimpong, go vroom. Rapid, homegrown, clearly wants to succeed in the Premier League as well. Arne Slot is endorsed and happy with this transfer, can play multiple positions, specialises in getting the ball into the box. Now, I'm not talking about just getting to the byline old school and whipping across in like a 1980s winger. It's about advancing the ball and creative threat. So there's so much to like about this. But just to remind everyone, from the briefings, it does seem that based on reading the journos articles from the various patch journos, that Conor Bradley is the first choice right back. However, when both these 2 report back for next season, for pre-season, game on, eh? It's great when you've got 2 right backs that want to be at the club. So let's be positive about this, eh? Other news, it seems to be about creative players. And there's 3 to really call out on the screen there, isn't there? Latest articles around Xavi Simons, Cherki, and Florian Wirtz. So we'll kind of go through these a little one by one right now. So the latest one, Cherki, and people think this is an old one that's being mentioned. He actually was quite honest in if anyone's seen the comments in the mix zone after Lyon's victory yesterday, to talk about, I'm ready to move on. And of course he is, because he's got a year left on his deal. This move has been mooted for many, many a month. And Liverpool are linked, City are linked, Tottenham are linked as well, with a player who has that price of around 18.5 million quid. I think that is what makes it attractive to a lot of the clubs, because if you're deadly honest, 18.5 million euro, or pounds, sorry, 22.5 million euros for an attacking threat, a real creative threat, is attractive. it's an educated gamble at a low amount for these type of players. And if we look at Cherki's profile, as we've done before, and we're looking at him as an attacking midfielder winger, because that's where he would play. He can play in the middle, can play right, can play in the left. So there's options for us. Mustafa asking, is he any good? Again, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. And some people will be honest, and let's be factual, first of all, for Mustafa and everyone. If you look across the two biggest competitions he's played in, the League and the Europa League, I mean, 12 goals, 19 assists is an impressive return, isn't it, for a Lyon team that haven't been that great. And you look at some of his percentiles and his statistics top line. I mean, he's in the 99th percentile for assists, expected assisted goals, and shot creating actions, nearly 7 a game. So there's a lot of creativity there. And we've talked about this before. With Trent going, part of Liverpool's aim was always to get more creativity in the team because of what they'll be losing. Progressive passes there as well, 98th percentile. There is a lot of things to like on the surface about this player. I mean, when you run from top to bottom, all the creative elements are there. There is zero doubt about it. It's here's where it starts to get dicey. And it starts to get dicey and dicey fast. All his defensive metrics, I mean, his highest is interceptions at the 26th percentile. Clearances, 9th percentile. Tackles. But essentially, for those who have watched Cherki, it doesn't really do any defending. You have to be honest about that for Lyon. And here's where I think there's the key part that's going to rule him out ultimately, or put him right at the bottom of that creative list. You carry Mo Salah because Mo Salah is a demigod. The Egyptian king's the best player in the league. He's an elite player. I don't think you can carry Mo Salah and Cherki in the same team. Potentially, there's an option as an alternative, and at that price, you could say it's low risk. 8.5 million. So that comes into the mix. However, I don't, this is almost like right down the list for me. And it's funny when you look at the players that Rayan Cherki is compared to. Florian Wirtz is there in the mix as well. And Alejandro saying there, he is a great player. It's just a matter of speed and adaptability to a new system, being able to stick to the plan. An old school player, but smart as well. I would actually say, Alejandro and everyone, he's more of a FIFA player. He's got great ability. He's got great moments. Only a fool would deny that. And by the way, do you remember when he smashed that one into the bottom left-hand corner or right-hand corner, if you want to look at it that way, against United at Old Trafford and then grabbed a certain appendage? We liked him a bit then, didn't we? That made me like him. But I think he's a moments player. I think he's a FIFA player. I'm not sure he's going to fit a hard-working Arne Slot system. And we already carry Mo Salah, quite rightly. Personal opinion, I'm not in for Cherki. City we are looking at him. Tottenham are looking at him. It does feel like he's right down the list. But an option, you can understand why he'd be there. So that's the first one to talk about. The second one, Xavi Simons. Now, if this comes off, I will be spending my week deleting tweets and comments, etc. But this is a name that just won't go away, will it? Xavi Simons. And he's had a really strong end to the season. And it's quite clear that Xavi Simons is going to leave Red Bull. They didn't qualify, did they? So Xavi Simons will leave. Sesko is going to leave as well. Both players linked with the club. As Louis Steele said, we watched them even recently in that game against Bayern. The one thing I've got to be honest about with Simons, he's had a real strong end to the campaign. A real strong end to the campaign. And in fact, he's ended it with 19 goal contributions, 11 goals, 8 assists, and assists at big moment, 2 in the game against Bayern. That's important to say. Did anyone see his backheeled goal yesterday? Quite nice as well. So Xavi Simons is having a strong end to the season, and it's part of the reasons I put him above Cherki in my rankings just now. Now, when you look at his metrics, there are some strength as well. It's progressive passes for him, isn't it? That's what he'd be there for, getting the ball to someone threatening in the 87th percentile, shot creating actions in the 82nd percentile. When you run it from top to bottom, there's a lot to like about his passing and making things happen. Even his defensive elements are pretty decent as well. He's a hard worker. There's no two ways about it. I'm not going to bring it up again because we've done it before. That there's a lot of his physical metrics, which you get for Bundesliga players, are really impressive at the same time. And when you overlay him against Cherki, I mean, for the bottom half on FBref, defensive metrics are all miles ahead. Miles ahead. It's not even close. People will argue, well, on all the creative and certain bits, that he's 1 to 2 points ahead there. Cherki is over him. But I think you look at the league a little bit. I think you look at the way the team plays as well, that Cherki has to defend. Simons has to defend and is asked to do more as well. Also, as I should point out, my next point, Martin's put there, are we buying the Dutch international team or what? I think with Frimpong coming in, that makes it 4 Dutch. Simons would make it 5, wouldn't it? But actually, for this transfer, I think that works in his favour as well, wouldn't it? That Slot and others will be looking at going, well, he'd fit in well. There's all the Dutch boys, etc. So, that would help a transition to the Premier League at the same time. So all that comes into the mix. There's no two ways about it. And actually, that's why for the creative transfers that are coming out today, I actually think right now Simons is the Wirtz alternative. That's honestly what I believe, that Simons is the Wirtz alternative. And it's all being verified, what we said on the transfer show, isn't it? Florian Wirtz is, or was, in Liverpool, on Tuesday with his camp speaking to Liverpool. We are trying to make that deal happen. Did anyone clock Uli Hoeneß's comments yesterday as well, saying, to a bit of a dig at the German press, that, you all said he was in Manchester. Actually, he was in Liverpool. But we're going to wait and we'll give you facts when we have more to give. Now, people have jumped on that, haven't they? In terms of, okay, is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? What Hoeneß saying? Is he cracking up? Is he kind of sounding confident? You will decide how you see that. But the one thing we are expecting is news next coming week. Alejandro there saying, let's not get our hopes up, but the club is definitely interested. Yeah, absolutely. Of course the club's interested. We made a hard play. We've made our best pitch to Florian Wirtz. We are just waiting to see what decision this player makes next week. And the chat panel is buzzing, isn't it, with thoughts on Cherki, Simons and Wirtz. They do seem to be those players. And again, it might not be the case. We're all speculating here, but for my rankings, Wirtz by a mile. I'd rather have Simons than Cherki if we can't make that happen. But we will see what develops during the next week or so. Speaking of creative players, people, anyone see Kevin De Bruyne interviewed in the mix zone afterwards? This one just, it won't go away, will it? And I can't actually play the clip because Sky Sports will clamp on us. But as you can see on the screen, hopefully if you're on YouTube, De Bruyne saying, I'm speaking to clubs about my future. Yes, I want to play good football, whatever the decision. He was then asked by the journo, if you've seen the clip directly, would that mean stay in England? He kind of looked and laughed at the floor and said, stay in England? It depends who comes. I have a family, kids. I have to take care of a decision that suits everybody. The decision is complex. Now, you'll have probably also seen, because it says Salah there, that it's one of the snippets from Mo Salah speaking to Gary Neville, he did make the joke, didn't he, about De Bruyne, about us having a space for him. It's an interesting one, this. Make no bones about it. If Kevin De Bruyne got an offer from Liverpool, he'd be on that like a starving man on a Christmas turkey. Jump on it. Kevin De Bruyne is desperate to come to Liverpool. Of course, you keep hearing him talking about, even after they got beat in the FA Cup final, quite clearly happy to put out a sales pitch if you want, saying, yeah, I want to stay in England. You know, he's quite clear. De Bruyne is a massive red. His family's a massive red. He would love to get an offer from Liverpool. And people will be mixed on this. Trevor saying, I don't want KDB, to be honest. People will be saying, oh, but, you know, is what he could do to unlock a defence. I get it either way. I understand completely both sides of the argument. As Ali's saying there, just how much it would actually annoy City fans at the same time. And maybe as a squad role, I can see it as well. Others are going to disagree with me now completely, saying, legs gone, finished, all this, one last pension. I tell you what, if KDB got Liverpool speaking to him, I actually think he would bend on those wages magnificently just to get a year or two at Liverpool with his best mate Virgil and all that. And the reason I'm not setting much stock in this is, look at the links to Cherki. Look at the links to Simons. Look at the fact we're trying for Wirtz. This almost seems like he'd have to wait till the end of the summer and see if we had a space for him, which you cannot rule out completely. But a lot of the patch journos have been keen to say Liverpool have not made De Bruyne an offer. They've been unequivocal on that so far. So that comes into the mix as well. But in terms of creative transfers and in terms of other options, there's 4 real names for a creative element. And there's nothing really unnew to talk about with Adam Wharton, bar that congratulations to Palace, they won the cup. By the way, that was brilliant yesterday, wasn't it? We want to win every trophy, of course, but if you look at the cups this season, there's been something nice for the neutral, I think, about Newcastle and Palace winning it, isn't there? That the scenes are pretty special because those sorts of domestic trophies, it just means more to those clubs, doesn't it? I think you've got to be honest and you've got to be fair about that. It just means more to them. And there's something nice about that for me at the same time. So, yeah, always just something to consider. But that's enough talk about creative players for now. Tell you what, I don't know if anyone saw this at all, but the Darwin story, a couple of tweets around this, that Liverpool striker Darwin Nunez is among the top options for Saudi Arabia's PIF clubs this summer. I mean, we saw the Napoli one that we put on the screen yesterday. It's just where Darwin ends up, really, isn't it? And the one thing I would say about this, which I'm not too sad about at all, we can use Darwin now as a bargaining chip for whatever we want. If we do want to buy Wirtz, thinking, okay, that's big money, 120, 115, whatever it might be. But Darwin then comes up as the big deposit for that, doesn't he? To help balance the books. Napoli for Osimhen. Atletico for Alvarez. So maybe in the nicest way, it hasn't worked out for Darwin at Anfield, but he can leave a good little tidy deposit, can't he, shall we say, or an exchange, however you want to put it, for whoever's coming in to be part of his replacement. So we will see again. I mean, I'm not being funny. In the last week, look how much is happening. Things are accelerating fast. And even tomorrow, we're expected to get Frimpong footage, announcement, and all those as well. So plenty to talk about transfer-wise. In the meantime, tomorrow night, there is a Brighton game, isn't there? Yeah, game against Brighton away at the Annex. There's other Premier League games to set yourself up for. So they're making a big fuss about this, aren't they? The Blues. Goodison Park, midday, 20 minutes, the final game at that stadium. And because it's that final game at that stadium, I'd like to just take a few seconds in solemn remembrance of the Hot Walk set to close. The Hot Walk that's produced £7.50 meal deals, the likes of half rice, half chips, sweet and sour chicken, crispy chili chicken, Chinese curry, will be no more outside that stadium after we've won 3 points and we're heading back. So I'd like to take a moment just to soak that in. Anyway, on the other side, there's other games. There's West Ham, Forest, Brentford, Fulham, Leicester, Ipswich, and even a late Arsenal versus Newcastle, which has still got bearing on the Champions League spots, hasn't it, at the same time? So there is some excitement a little bit, shall we say, in the air. But we don't really care too much, do we? It doesn't affect us. It's all about Monday night. And this one made me laugh, ladies and gents. As Harvey Elliott's story that came out this morning in the preview, it's not gonna be an easy game, but we're ready. Really, Harvey? Really? We've seen the footage all week of you boys in Dubai. We saw the ones that even came out last night where you saw like Gakpo, Salah bouncing around in the club to certain tunes. You've seen them all on it, shall we say. You've seen the state of Arne Slot on Friday's press conference. We're ready. Not that we care whatsoever, but if anyone believes that, they need their head tested. Funny though, as he said, ready for another pint there, Red Armchair supporter. Yeah, indeed. They were at that party for that brand we won't mention yesterday. It's funny, isn't it? Yeah, I've just absolutely no idea what tomorrow will serve up, but we won't have to wait too long to find out. Honestly, I just think there'll be 10 players on that pitch who are either half cut, half asleep, and then there'll be Mo Salah going mental that they're not getting him his assist and goals record. That's just how I envisage it. Probably a Lewis Dunk 65-yard lob goes in because Ali's throwing up at the post. And I've only seen 2 bits of Alisson, but he was having a few on that yacht in Dubai, and he was there at the club having a few. So he's definitely been enjoying himself this week. No two ways about it. Could genuinely be anything tomorrow night. In between, then, content out the wazoo as ever for you, ladies and gents. Even in, say, the last 24 hours, we got the Wirtz review that we ran on Daily Red via Dave. First instalment, me and Trev did of the transfer show. Plenty of players to talk about there. Even the European scene that we talked about, and there'll be Premier League bits out later as well. Plenty of pods, plenty of audio for you there. 1,000,001 things to cover all the way through. And the reason I wanted to mention the Palace game a little bit, ladies and gents, is still a beautiful thing when you look at that league table. No need to be stressing over transfers or anything too much as well. We'll keep you updated, but God, the window hasn't even opened yet properly, has it? And everything is happening. But look at the Reds. Look at them celebrating. They're having their time of their life. On the slot, as soon as we won it, it's quite clearly jibbed it. There's no fuss about a points total or records. It was party time, wasn't it? Prepare for next season. We've won it. And next weekend, I mean, Palace, by the way, did anyone see the team on it last night? If you were putting a bet on, I'd put money on Wolves to win on Tuesday night, by the way. But that one, is it possible next Sunday, which is going to be epic, has it ever happened that 2 teams have given each other a guard of honour? What I mean is, if I would like us to get the guard of honour off Palace, loop back round and give them a guard of honour for the FA Cup win and beating City, I think that would be great. They're going to be in party mood. We're going to be in party mood. Next weekend, could be anything on a score. Monday night could be anything. It really could. Genuinely, we could get absolutely battered, but would we care? Not a jot. Because tomorrow will be about waiting for things like Frimpong news and other developments. We will see what unfolds. But there we go. I hope you enjoy your weekend. I hope you enjoy your day. I hope it's good wherever you are. Because, ladies and gents, on Sunday, the 18th of May, that was another Daily Red